Okay, so here we go. Now we're using ThingSpeak as a way of looking at our data on IoT, Internet of Things. And we've got our ESP32 board by Key Studio. This is the WROOM board, I'm using an analog input, this noise sensor, and I'm using code, a sketch for the Arduino written by ChatGPT. Now, what we've got here I'm showing you is the data being uploaded, which Chat correctly wrote. Here is the Arduino sketch, and we're watching our volume input in real time on our serial monitor, which is this up here in Arduino. There are three things that we need to add to the code written by Chat. This is the code that Chat wrote. My Wi-Fi address and my password, and then we need to have a write API string included. And I've told Chat specifically, do not include a library for ThingSpeak. I've had Chat make the mistake of including a reference to a ThingSpeak library right here, and I've not been able to get that code to work. So I just said this specific, very specific request from Chat to write me the sketch. And it came back with this, specifically said, for this board, which is this sensor. I looked this up just by taking a picture and then did a Google search and asked, what is this thing? And I got this notice that it was the KY037. And I told him I was using this Key Studio ESP32 board. And it came back with this code. Enter these three items. I copied this code and pasted it into Arduino, and it compiled without error. They say specifically use pin, I believe it said 34 for your analog. And then this sensor has got both a digital output and an analog output. So you've got to connect these wires correctly to the board in order to get what you want. Now, this is the board. This is called the KS5016. And we're carrying on from our Make Code and Microbit on another channel where we're using an ESP32 IoT board by ElecFreaks. So we're stepping up from graphic programming with blocks like Scratch, only in this case it's Make Code for Microbit by Microsoft and BBC Microbit. We're stepping up to this kind of coding, text coding, with this board, which cost about $12. And you can see that we're able to upload, first of all, sense code, sense volume, and then we're able to upload it to our ThingSpeak account, which is free. All of these connections are free. Now, bear in mind that this version of the Wi-Fi board, this ESP32 version, does not connect to hotspots that are running 5 gigahertz, the new modern hotspots. So I've got it connected to my Android cell phone, which is my hotspot, and that cell phone runs at 2.4 gigahertz, which is what this works at. So there will be more about all this. We've got our ESP32 board running now with Android, and we're using code written by ChatGPT, ThingSpeak code, which we can go back and modify and understand this better. The Arduino code. For example, they had these sensory outputs right here, delay 100 milliseconds. I changed that to 1 second because it was running through so fast right here. I couldn't really keep up with it. So now the data is being displayed on the serial monitor every 1 second rather than 10 times a second. And then displaying on our ThingSpeak account. We have done a ThingSpeak project where we were able to send these data numbers by email to an email address, and we're going to try and do that with this Arduino system. We haven't done it yet with Arduino. We did it with the BBC microbit. So we'll see if we can make that happen. There will be more.